Hi Bafetu, we back with another video. Bafetu, back again. So the DA challenges Employment Equity Amendment Act in court. A fight for job security in South Africa. Manyana wrote this article. The DA is fighting Employment Equity Amendment Act in court. They don't want the previously advantaged groups in South Africa to be brought to the same level as them. Like we won't be in the same level as white people are far ahead of us. So these acts are just trying to manage the situation. But they are against that. It's like what's the policies of the DA? Maybe I need to look up the policies of the DA and what they're aiming to do. Because in the majority of a black country, if they want to run government, they need black votes. And how do you get black votes? It's by having interest of black people who are, especially those who are previously at disadvantage. So if you don't have their interest at heart, I don't think you'll ever run the country. I don't think they is interested in running the country. They've caught any way to run the country for them. So it's cool. DA's Federal Chairperson Helen Zille believes the proposed Employment Equity Amendment Act would drive more people out of jobs. Why are you saying that? Zille was addressing journalists ahead of the DA court case against the proposed act. Said South Africa needs grow jobs and growth, not race-based laws that block employment opportunity. They block employment opportunity for who? Because white people, for sure, their unemployment rate in South Africa, levels in South Africa is 0.1% or something like that, not more than 2%. And black people is 60%, 50%. So what are you saying, Zille? You're not serious about running the country. You'll never run this country anyway. You'll keep on running Cape Town. And gating is coming even in Cape Town. Gating. She said this would drive unemployment up and further decline the economy. In a move that would further strain the government of national unity, the party approached the Gauteng High Court, Pretoria, to challenge the constitutionality of the Employment Equity Amendment Act, which introduces rigid national race quotas in the workplace. The party believes this will destroy jobs, undermine the economy, and violate the constitutional rights of all South Africans. The matter is expected to be heard tomorrow. This is the latest court action by the party after it recently challenged the proposed VAT rate hike in the court last week. The DA is running South Africa through courts, guys. Be careful. Courts can't be more powerful. You can't have the courts having the last words, and those people are not voted. They are appointed, and they can be bribed. You can't have courts having the last word in running the country. The matter is expected to be heard tomorrow. This is the latest court action by the party after it recently challenged the proposed VAT rate in High Court. The party's main partner in the GNU, the ANC, criticized the move and accused the DA of being anti-transformation. I agree with the ANC on this one. No, I agree. And they don't come with solutions, the DA. They just fight these laws. What's the alternative law? There's no alternative law. You just open the country. Baba, you have 400 years step ahead of black people. 400 years. Until now we have 25 years to fix that, or 30 years, and you still complaining, you crying, saying, aye. In 25 years, in 30 years, guys. And we are nowhere because we chose the wrong vehicle to take us there, which is the ANC. The ANC was the wrong vehicle to take black people from point A to point B. They took South Africa from point A, at least in J maybe, outside of point A, outside a little bit. Wow. Come on. And Zille are still fighting us. She said her party stands for rational policy reforms, creating jobs and growing the economy. Then how do you allocate those jobs, Helen? How do you allocate those jobs? Zille added that the race quotas are unconstitutional barriers to the country's economic growth. The business, why people are telling that your constituency, you're just serving your constituency. She added that this matter was not new, adding that the court action started more than 2 years ago during 6th Parliament, when the DA argued that the Employment Equity Amendment Act discriminates unfairly and unconstitutional. While Section 9.2 of the Constitution allows first discrimination of achieve redress, such as discrimination has to meet the benchmark of fairness set out in Section 9. This draconian Amendment Act falls short of this benchmark, she said. Zille said it was grossly unfair and gave totalitarian powers of social engineering to Minister of Labour, who would be able to set rigid national targets for every economic sector without any regard to the context of specific firms, and imposed extremely heavy fines and the risk of criminal conviction for failure to meet them. Exactly, there need to be consequences for not following the law when Zille. Or when I go to court and run South Africa through courts. This can no longer be classified as a target. It amounts to an enabling law for the minister to set the rigid quotas which have previously been found by our court to be unconstitutional. If this law is enabled, for example, people belonging to a specific group concentrated in a geographical area could face exclusion from employment based on national quotas set by the minister, she said. Zille said DA is committed to redressing the millions of South Africans who remain economically excluded due to the legacy of our painful past. How will the DA planning to do that, Zille? Say, I want to read it in this article. She said the party believes the most effective redress is a job. Okay, yeah, it's a job. The ANC employment equity regime continues the bitter legacy of the past because it is one of the key factors driving our country's skyrocketing unemployment rate. In 2008, unemployment on the expansion definition was 5.5 million. By the last year, it had doubled to 11.1 million. Said Zille. Yeah, the unemployment rate, guys, is very high and it scares many people. But we cannot forget what happened to our past pal. We cannot forget ever. She added that the draconian law regime created by an Employment Equity Amendment Act would continue to drive away investment and predictably increase unemployment. So the international investors and everyone else don't want redress in South Africa. They want black people to remain poor forever. And they would rather go will farm, we have a land, will farm. Companies and potential investors have repeatedly cited these social engineering laws as a major barriers to investment and growth. It is completely senseless to knowingly intensify a discriminatory regime that has already failed so spectacularly to empower economic marginalized people. But Helen, you cannot tell me that giving someone a job is a form of rectifying the imbalances of the past. What the kind of a job is that? Okay, you give me a job to sweep the street, and you give me my white counterpart a managerial job. That's what the DA wants, and all white people want. They want them to be managers and everything else. And Tina, we do these menial jobs, and then they call that equality. As these people, they don't take us serious for real. This is what the evidence demonstrates, and that is why we will continue to oppose policies keeping millions of people in poverty. She said racial quotas are dehumanizing and unjust, adding that they reduce people to statistics, ignoring talent and effort. Yeah, you couldn't tell that to apartheid. The DA also has a technical challenge to the Employment Amendment Act, which is that it was incorrectly tagged under Section 75 of the Constitution. This act will profoundly affect different provinces and therefore should have been tagged under Section 76 of the Constitution, she said. She was echoed by the party spokesperson on the Employment and Labour, Michael Green, who said the DA was fighting for opportunities based on merit, not race. The DA is fighting for non-racial, inclusive democracy where every South African has fair access to jobs. Race-based laws are divisive and stringent to the economy, she said. Attempts to get a comment from the ANC were unsuccessful at the time of the publication. The DA is wrong, guys. I don't want to lie to you. And plenty people who are saying let's vote for the let's vote for the DA, let's non-rational. Yeah, but these people don't want us to be in the same level as them. They don't want to see us do as well ever. They will point at Mutsipe and few black elites and say, things are going well for the black people, for pointing at the few black people. while millions suffering. Alright guys, anyway guys, subscribe, like, share, let us grow the page. Bafethu, what do you think about Zille trying to run South Africa through courts? See you on the next video. Bafethu.